You're watching ZTN News Blitz. Good afternoon, I'm Time Mutindi. Let's take a look at the headlines. Discord over ZIMSEC exams invigilation fees. ZAC says council internal auditors under siege. New twist to Prophet Freddie saga. And in sport, can Sables break in Namibia jinx? Will give you the insights. Zimbabwe School Examinations Council public exams are set to start on Monday, with ordinary level candidates writing their first exam. Some teacher unions have, however, threatened to boycott exam supervision, citing delays in payment of invigilation allowances. Last year, Progressive Teachers Union of Zimbabwe President Dr. Takavafira Jo says government and invigilators should sign a contract before the exams start.
Our position is very clear that we want an engagement with ZIMSEC, and ZIMSEC must pay for the invigilation process by teachers. We have had teachers that were involved in accidents and they were not compensated either by ZIMSEC or by Public Service Commission, because Public Service Commission was claiming that they were not on their responsible work, and the ZIMSEC was saying it has no contract with the teachers. So what we want is a contract and some token of appreciation of the work that is done by teachers. If ZIMSEC and Ministry of Education run from their responsibility, there is danger that teachers will be conspicuous by their absence from invigilation rooms.
Zimbabwe Teachers Association Chief Executive Officer Dr. Sfiso Ndlovu says although they have not resolved to boycott the exams, government should urgently resolve the issue.
But then for this year, we are engaging the authorities and we continue to discuss. We have not yet come to a stage where we are saying we're not going to invigilate. And at the present moment, Zimbabwe Teachers Association is escalating the matter with the relevant authorities. So it would be premature for everyone to think that the teachers in the Zimbabwe Teachers Association have made a decision to the contrary.
The Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education says a payment of invigilator allowances is the Public Service Commission's responsibility.
We have a mandate to provide a quality and relevant inclusive education. If we had the mandate of also paying civil servants, we would also take up that mandate. But as we work as the whole of government, our other arms will deal with that.
But the Minister of Public Service, Labour and Social Welfare, Professor Paul Mavima, insists that payment of invigilators is an administrative issue which should be handled by the Ministry of Education and ZIMSEC.
You see, the issue of administration of exams is not a general civil service issue, conditions of service issue. It's an issue that between ZIMSEC and the parent ministry, they should always be ready. They know when the exams are supposed to be held. And therefore, they are supposed to plan accordingly. I appreciate the concerns of the labor union, but this is a matter where if I now know that there is a standard payment that has to go to the teachers.
ZIMSEC says payment modalities are handled by the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education and they are awaiting a directive from the ministry.
We did actually have a meeting with the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education and all the teachers' unions, not just ZIMTA and PUTUS, but all of them. And that was in 2019. And at that meeting, it was agreed that as ministry is custodian of schools and teachers are under the employ of the Public Service Commission. Therefore, if any decision was going to be made, it was going to be made from that level, including the number of invigilators that is known by the ministry, because the teachers are the ones who are under the ministry. So at this stage, I suppose we will need to liaise with the parent ministry as well as the Public Service Commission to find a way forward, if any. However, ZIMSEC waits on them because we are a parastatal under them.
The Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission says internal auditors at local authorities are being victimized by their superiors for unearthing corruption and other irregularities. ZAC Chairperson Justice Loisa Matanda-Moyo says some internal auditors have lost their jobs for doing their work. Justice Matanda-Moyo said victimization of internal auditors and other whistleblowers is militating against the fight to end graft in the country. She was speaking during a roundtable discussion forum with local authority internal auditors.
Some of you have tried to do something and they've been victimized, and some have lost their jobs for speaking up. Ladies and gentlemen, the victimization of internal auditors by those in authority is of great concern to ZAC. ZAC has drafted the Whistleblowers Protection Lay Bill, which was submitted to the Attorney General's office and to the Ministry of Justice in July 2020. Currently, we are following up on that, and we have been assured by the Ministry of Justice that this bill will see the light of the day soon.
An internal auditor who spoke to ZTN on the sidelines of the meeting said the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission should do more to protect them after they provide evidence of corruption.
We are not protected by ZAC officials. You try to give them information, by the end of the day, the director will call you to say you have given this information to ZAC officials. We are not protected. Some of you are not all that professionals. You are the guys that come to investigate. You give them the necessary information. We have so many reports that have not been attended to. The moment you give them those reports, someone is going to phone you to say, why did you give them those reports?
A technician with the national broadcaster ZBC, Mutetepi Maushe, has been arrested for allegedly conniving with a female radio presenter to extort self-styled prophet Tapiwa Freddie of 20,000 United States dollars. The radio presenter, who is also accusing Prophet Freddie of rape, is on remand in the extortion case. The state, led by Anes Uchirenje, alleges that the duo connived to extort Prophet Freddie, threatening to make his love affair with the presenter public. The pair also threatened to report the prophet for rape if he did not pay the money. The court heard that on 11 November this year, Maushe, masquerading as the radio presenter's brother, contacted Prophet Freddie and gave him a day's ultimatum to pay up and sign an acknowledgement affidavit that he had raped the presenter. Prophet Freddie reported the matter to police, who lured the radio presenter and arrested her. She implicated Maushe, who appeared in court on Friday afternoon facing allegations of extortion. The state successfully opposed bail, and Magistrate Dennis Mangosi remanded him in custody to 7 January next year. Moving on, South Africa's Deputy Minister of Trade, Industry and Economic Development, Nomalungelelo Gina, has applauded the high quality of exhibits being showcased by Zimbabwean companies at the ongoing Intra-African Trade Fair in Durban, South Africa. She was speaking after touring the stands with her Zimbabwean counterpart, Raj Modi.
It was good to be here with my counterpart from Zimbabwe, the Deputy Minister of Trade. We have taken a walk around the stores that are here. The products that they are showcasing, they're just wonderful. And one can say and confidently say, indeed, there is hope in the continent, in Africa, that we can do these things. I've gone around the production that they have with local content when it comes to Zimbabwe. There are so many products, the cigars that they're producing, the bags, food stuff, and the range on food. Really, it shows that there's so much that we can do as a continent, so that we don't rely really on other countries outside our continent.
Zimbabwe's Deputy Industry and Commerce Minister Raj Modi says there has been a lot of traffic at Zimbabwean stands.
A lot of countries came to visit our stand. A lot of investors also show the interest in investing to Zimbabwe, and they wanted to find out about how do we do it, how to go about the investment in Zimbabwe.
More than 47,000 school children have received free eye screening in Harare and Bulawayo metropolitan provinces. The Council for the Blind is carrying out the exercise in conjunction with the Ministry of Health and Childcare and the Ministry of Primary and Secondary, targeting every child from the age of 5. Council for the Blind Programs and Information Officer Prosper Mararike told ZTN that children with eye conditions that require medication will receive the medicine for free, while those that need spectacles can acquire them for as little as $20 US.
What we're doing is conducting free eye screening for all the children that have signed consent forms from their parents. So this initiative, it started back in 2018. So for the schools, we are in Harare and Bulawayo metropolitan provinces. We are working with the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education for Harare and Bulawayo metropolitan, and we also work with the Ministry of Health and Childcare, because when we're doing the screenings, the ophthalmic nurses from the Ministry of Health are the ones that are conducting the screening. And we also have our funding partner, which is Christian Blind Mission. That is the partner that is funding this initiative. And we also have what we call Peak Vision. This is a UK-based organization that came up with this technology that we're using to conduct free eye screening services.
The lifespan of electronic gadgets has been decreasing over the years. Initially, some were designed to last up to 20 years, but with the emergence of new technologies, some are being discarded after a few years of use. This has resulted in the mounting of electronic garbage globally, posing a risk to the environment. Zimbabwe is one of the countries which has no policy for managing electronic waste, but that is now about to change as authorities are crafting an e-waste policy. Sharon Munjenjema gives us more in the following package.
Experts peg the average lifespan of a mobile phone to around 2.5 years. But in low-income countries such as Zimbabwe, they can stretch for half a decade.
Motherboards phone. Saka pane zvokuti phone inogona kufa zvokuti iyo pachayo haichagadziriki. Saka tinenge takumabreaka. Kureva kuti kana tichiti kumabreaka, phone kana yakadai so ikafa zvayafa pakauya imwe phone ida kugadzirwa, same phone yakafa motherboard togona kubvisa maparts twate tichida pafone yakafa tichisa pafone no one.
While others try to extend the lifeline of their gadgets by having them repaired, others have a different plan for its spare parts.
Pane vanhu vanouya vachigotora those boards, vanhu vanokuita kuda those chips vanozoshandisa kuzomunyungudutsa chotsvaga kana gold. Unondifana some other components that contains are coated with gold. Saka vanozoshandisa une vanhu maybe vanoita is a substitute rokuextract minerals from those components.
But what happens to the rest of the gadgets which are damaged beyond repair?
Unoona iscreen refoni rikafa iri zvokuti ratsemuka, whether phone yafambirwa yadonhedzwa kana kuti domestic violence kana yatsemuka zvese zvokuti yatsemuka harina use.
Studies indicate that electronic gadgets often contain over 40 different harmful substances, such as lead and mercury. These substances are harmful to the environment.
You'd find that in electronic waste, there is use of mercury. Where is that mercury going when it goes to the dump site? It then leaches into the ground and contaminates our water. It contaminates our environment. And as a country, we don't have a specific system for dealing with e-waste. This means we are continuing to dump our mercury from electronic waste into the environment, which is a time bomb and a health hazard. The idea behind having integrated solid waste management systems is you take it from the point of generation to the end point where you are saying this is no longer usable and we are disposing of it. Now, we must make sure that all processes of value addition on the e-waste are done within the country.
With electronic waste slowly becoming a problem, Zimbabwe is finally crafting a blueprint to manage it.
In the context of e-waste management, we've got a very clear policy which ensures that there's a safe and secure e-waste management systems. And currently, we're in the process of a policy review. And in the policy review, we've got a stakeholders approach. And certainly, the Computer Society of Zimbabwe is going to play a key role as we develop an e-waste management policy in terms of ICT gadgets.
While comprehensive statistics on Zimbabwe are unavailable, it is no doubt that e-waste is slowly becoming a problem. At one e-waste collection center in Harare, over 3 tons are recorded monthly. Countries such as Japan and South Korea have laws mandating manufacturers of electronic gadgets to recycle 75% of their production. Others are putting restrictions on electronic gadgets that can be imported. Should Zimbabwe do the same? Well, time will tell. Reporting for ZTN News, I'm Sharon Munjenjema.
For months, it has been a difficult phase for many adrenaline junkies. However, the gradual easing of restrictions saw car spinners staging the first burnout event in close to 2 years. Takuchi Hambakwe gives us more.
It's almost 2 years since the last edition of the all-popular Burnouts was last held in the country. The COVID-19 pandemic is to blame, as all events and public gatherings were banned due to the pandemic. But on Sunday, at the peak of the November heat, adrenaline junkies swarmed the Borrowdale racecourse to witness the screeching sound of tires sliding on the tarmac. Most popular drivers in the game were also there, much to the excitement of the crowd. Stuntmasters were also out in full force, dazzling the crowds with their nerve-chilling moves. And we caught up with Zimbabwe's only female spinner, Natasha Murombedzi.
All I can say is we're excited, we're having fun. It's been a while, hey, because of this pandemic. I can't even actually explain how I'm feeling today. You know, the adrenaline and everything. It's just amazing.
Kudzai Mudenge told us he was a bit nervous after the long break.
It's been a very long time, my guy. It's been a very long time. I've been suffering from butterflies since Monday. But now I'm okay. Now I'm okay.
He also added how critical corporate support is for the sport to continue.
They make us stick because this is an expensive sport. It's not the most expensive type of motorsport, but you know the situation we have, it's not good. So yeah, we need them. They're very important to us. If we can only have more of them coming in, I think you have more cars participating in more events.
As Mdenge stated, without the support of the corporate sector, the sport will not blossom to pre-pandemic levels given the rise in prices of motor spares in US dollar terms. Fortunately, for some spinners, they got support from Elion Lubricants, who have pledged to continue supporting the sport.
I'm sure you can confirm with the noise, the vibe, everybody's excited. The spinners, you know, everybody, that no one wants to buy the dust. So, you know, it promotes animosity amongst the spinners. So, you know, the vibe is amazing. I'm excited.
All roads now lead to Gweru this weekend, where residents in the City of Progress will be taken for a spin in the Gusheshe.
The South African hospitality industry is pleading with the country's citizens to get vaccinated to avoid a hard lockdown during the festive season. This comes after the extension of the state of disaster to 15 December 2021. The country's National Hospitality Trade Industry Association says government should consider all options before implementing further restrictions. Chairperson Rosemary Anderson added that a hard lockdown will damage the already ailing tourism industry. Moving on, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken met Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari on Thursday and discussed domestic and regional security issues. During his visit, Blinken also praised the collaboration between Nigeria and the U.S., stressing the importance of cooperation. President Buhari urged the U.S. to push other industrialized countries to make good on their promise to give $100 billion to developing countries each year to tackle and mitigate against climate change. Apple Incorporated is pushing to accelerate development of its electric car and is refocusing the project around full self-driving capabilities. Apple's ideal car would have no steering wheel and pedals, and its interior would be designed around hands-off driving. For the past several years, Apple's car team has explored two simultaneous paths, creating a model with limited self-driving capabilities focused on steering and acceleration, similar to most current cars from Tesla Inc., or a version with full self-driving ability that doesn't require human intervention. Up next is Sports News. It's been 20 years since the Zimbabwe Sables beat Namibia. It's a record. Sables coach Brendan Dawson is keen to improve. Well, tomorrow the two sides meet in the final of the quadrangular series in Stellenbosch. Will the same script continue? Dawson hopes for a new chapter.
It's one of our big rivals, Namibia, and we haven't beaten them since 2001. So it's a big task for us. They've got a very strong, heavy pack of forwards, big back line, and so they obviously play their direct rugby and play very similar to the South African way of rugby. Kick for the corners, maul it, and try across the try lines through mauling. So it's going to be a tough one, and it's going to be hard for the boys. But we're very positive. We go into the game with a very positive mindset, and making sure that we can come away hopefully with a victory on our part.
In cricket, the Zimbabwe women's team are taking on Ireland women in a warm-up match in Harare today. The two teams are finalizing preparations for the ICC Women's World Cup qualifier starting on Sunday. Meanwhile, domestic cricket action continues today with two Pro 50 matches taking place. Rocks are playing Tuskers in Masringo, while Mountaineers are hosting Rhinos in Mutare. Cranbourne Bullets coach Nesbet Yabo Saruchera and his captain Wanda Kapinda are confident their team will beat favourites Ngezi Platinum. The teams clash in the first semi-final of the Chibuku Super Cup at the National Sports Stadium tomorrow. ZTN Sports correspondent Thaddeus Manyepo spoke to the pair.
It's going to be a tough game, but I think we have prepared enough. We want also to make history. We just want maybe to get to the final. Then we see what will happen next.
I think we have divided all the odds, so I think we are going all the way. The team is ready to go. We've been training so hard, so nothing is going to stop us.
And that's all we had for you on ZTN News Blitz. Connect with us on Twitter at ZTN News, Instagram at ZTN, and our website ztn.co.zw. World in 5 is coming up shortly. Stay with us.